Hi, welcome to the channel. I'm Eric, and this is, for now, the Indie Lit Forum. I recently discovered the concept of booktubers on YouTube, and I watched a bunch of a channel, Daniel Green. He's a booktuber. He does a lot of fantasy stuff. He's a big Wheel of Time fan, and I really enjoyed his content. But in binging several hours of his videos while trying to recover from a concussion, I got to thinking that maybe there's room for me to do something similar. It may not ever be something that grows to be profitable or even something that makes me any money at all. Like, I got to looking at the criteria for getting monetized on YouTube, and I'm like, yeah, I don't know if I'll be able to attract that much of an audience. But I don't know. I've been looking for something to provide a creative outlet that, jives with my relatively stressful work schedule. I'm, I've been writing for a couple of years now, and really what happens is I, can make some progress, but then work gets kind of crazy, and I don't get around to actually working on a project for a couple of weeks. And the next thing I know, I've just kind of lost where I was going with something. I don't have the fire anymore. And so I'm hoping that this provides more of a medium where I don't have to really keep a train of thought going over, a couple of weeks. I just, spend a couple hours working on a 10, 15-minute video and, but moving on. I digress. I'll do that a lot. But, no, I got to thinking that, maybe there's room for somebody to do a YouTube channel putting a spotlight on independent authors. There are several independent authors that I follow quite closely. I buy almost every book they put out, and most of them are putting out a book a month, and I buy all of those. Some of them are putting out a book like every 2 weeks. There's some that I have followed briefly that put out a book a week. Just I've fallen off of some of those in over time, but it just seems like maybe, I don't know how much of an audience I'll ever attract, but maybe there is room out there on YouTube for me to talk about some of these independent authors and you know, provide more exposure for them. If I can, even if all I am attracting is audiences of this author and that author, well, maybe the people that follow this author don't follow this author, and by, you know, bridging between those two audiences, I can, provide, get a few more people interested in some of these other authors that I think are good. They're good. I mean, maybe they're not all Robert Jordan or the next Ernest Hemingway or anything like that, but they turn out a pretty reliable, pretty constant source of entertainment. Like many of these authors, they're fine. They're good. I like them. Some of them I like a lot. Some of them I reread their books two, three, four times. Uh, Daniel Shehofflin. I probably messed up that name. If so, I apologize. But he springs immediately to mind. There's something about his books that appeals to me so much that I frequently reread his most recent book within a week of the first time I read it. Actually, his Dungeon Walkers book. I reread the next day. I finished. The book came out in the morning before I went to work. I read the whole book before I went to work, and then I got home and I'm like, yeah, I could read on that again. And I reread the book before I had to go to work the next day. So yeah, like he is an author that I will probably feature on here regularly. I plan to do a video on probably every one of his books. And, I might even, and probably some videos just talking about, just overviews of his, each entire series. He has like 6 of them out right now, I believe. Yeah, I think that's correct. So, yeah, the at the same time, part of the reason why I'm a little unsure about the title of this channel is because I also feel like I will talk a lot, or I want to talk a lot about other things because I'm almost equally passionate about anime. I watch a lot of anime. At the same time, I don't want to make just an anime channel because A, it's a market that's already, I think, fairly well served. I can think of at least one channel that does a much better job than I will probably ever do. Mother's Basement. You should check them out if you're really into anime and you haven't checked them out yet. They do a phenomenal job. Like, they just, I don't always agree with the guy's opinion on certain animes, but he backs up and supports his opinions so well that most of the time I'm sitting there like, but I like that show that you just really burned the crap out of, but I can't necessarily disagree with what you said about them, so good job. But yeah, so my general thoughts on where this channel is going to go from here, because this is just an introduction. This is my first actual video. Well, not the first. I have a lot of test videos that I did to try to actually make this seem half-assed decent. I hope you can say ass. Anyway, I digress again, but I'm not working off a script on this. This is going to be a very amateurish thing, especially starting out. Like right now, I don't know, seeing if this is something I can even do. Uh, I don't want to sound too scripted and robotic. And also, I don't have a background in video editing or broadcast. I'm an English lit major, so, at the same time, I feel like that does give me a certain room to talk on, books, especially in stories, definitely. I feel like I maybe won't be so great critically, especially at the beginning. I feel like it's been a while since I really talked about books and stories and shows truly critically. Like I feel like I do delve into that sometimes, maybe especially when I'm trying to say why I don't like certain things. It's like, yeah, I just really didn't like that. And, sometimes it's not just based on my lack of enjoyment, which, I mean, hey, I don't like Attack on Titan. I watched like the first 8 episodes and I'm like, this is not for me. But that does not mean I'm in any way going to say that it is a bad anime. It's a very good anime. Like, the writing is pretty well done, the world building is frankly interesting, the animation's kind of mind blowing at times, and it's just too dark for me, and I don't know. I'm in a dark place on my own enough sometimes without sitting through. God, they're like 50, 60 something episodes now. I think I might have an existential crisis if I were to do that. Wow, already 10 minutes. I'm not running that long, just kind of running a little longer than I thought this introduction was going to be. Just, I wanted to kind of give a good idea of what to expect from here. I am hoping to do 2 or 3 videos a week, moving forward. It may take a week or two to really get at that. Like that's a goal for right now. Like that's like the bare minimum a halfway decent channel does, I think. But right now that's a goal. And most likely those the format that I will try to follow is I will probably try to do a video on a new or newish book a week with something that just has been published on Amazon within the last 2 or 3 weeks. There are some weeks that are a little dry, but of course some of those weeks I just pick up a new author that I've never read before. I just kind of look at some covers and read some blurbs, and it's like, that sounds interesting. I'll give that one a shot. So I might just do videos on that one. And then I will probably do at least one video a week on my back catalog, especially focusing on those books that I really like. Books by Daniel Shahofflin, books by Tao Wong. Like I plan on doing a video for each System Apocalypse book at some point. I will have to go back and reread some of these books before I can do videos to try to do them justice. And also, I want to say that they're not going to be reviews as such. More just general overviews of what happens in the book and my impressions of the book. It may be that one video a week will be a review, and then one video will be more of a spotlight, trying to go back and get some of those books from my back catalog that maybe you haven't read, maybe you haven't even heard of, and you can maybe go back and pick them up. And then, the other video is maybe just a review of whatever book I happened to pick up that I wanted to review. Maybe I picked up something that I actually didn't like that much and I want to roast it. No, I'm not going to do that. I don't want to be too harsh and negative because, I mean, hey, they wrote something. I mean, if I do want to point out the flaws, and honestly, if I just really, really didn't like it, I probably just won't do a video on it. Just, if it was a more mainstream author that has a massive marketing budget and department behind it, then yeah, I would probably be more ready to, be mean to it. But with the independent authors, like, they have, a lot of them, it's like, yeah, I sold 100, I got 100 reviews, so I'm going to do the next book in the series. And, when you're dealing with that, like, they don't need me making videos just trash talking their book just because I didn't like it. That, I mean, they don't need that kind of thing. They're publishing something. They're sitting down, they're writing something, they're finishing it, they're publishing it. Good on them. They don't need me trying to take the wind out of their damn sails. So, yeah, I'm probably not going to be doing that so much. But I do kind of hope that as I move on, I'm hoping that this exercise will help me look at some of this stuff a little bit more critically. Because if anything, I think looking at other people's works a little bit more critically might help me in my own efforts as a writer. Like, I don't mean for this to replace my writing. actually kind of hope this is an exercise that kind of augments some of those skills, and also, like I said, just gives me a creative outlet. And then lastly, I know I keep digressing, but I'm going to do that. Like, if you don't like that, then bear with me. But yeah, and lastly, I will probably try to do one video a week on anime because I really like anime, and I just, I don't know. I think I want to do a video a week where I just gush about one show or another. Or here pretty soon we got the fall season starting up, and so I will probably do a video or two about what I am watching this fall because I feel like we got some good ones coming out. And yeah, and we may have some bad ones coming out, and I may get on here to trash talk them. So that may be a lot of the content coming in the next couple of weeks. And I also, one of my first videos is probably going to be my top 10 anime of all, just my personal, like, all time favorite anime. I'm calling it a top 10 list, but I will probably mention a lot more than 10 because some anime, it's like, I'm going to mention at least two or three other shows that anime maybe kind of slightly beat out or, kind of half-ass represents. But this video's running a lot longer than I thought it would, and I got through all of it without too many major flubs. So we're going to call this good. If you're still watching, thank you for watching. I really appreciate it. And if what I'm pitching sounds interesting, then go ahead and like the video and subscribe, and hopefully we can take this journey together. Thank you very much. Have a good day.